The last two things I liked about the movie were the lighting or lack thereof, especially when everything was just red, and how at the end of the movie, again, I'm going to be vague, I'm not going to spoil anything, where the big fight of the movie is happening at the very end, and there's not even much light, it's a lot of darkness. It just makes everything look scary with how little you can see. And yes, I know it's a real technique with cinema, especially with the director Steven Spielberg, how he said that things are scarier the less of them you can see, and that really worked to the full effect for me, especially in the scene where, what was it called, the face huggers are in the water. You can't really see them, but you just have that red light, like it's just some kind of emergency, and it just immediately puts me on edge. And now, last but not least, the main actress. I forgot her name, but I know she's been in some other movies. Like, what else? Like that movie about the news team that came out earlier, Civil War. Yeah, Civil War. I thought she did kind of good in that movie, but I haven't seen much of Civil War. But in Alien Romulus, she did great, really. I've also seen this other movie she was in called The Craft Legacy that came out a year or two ago. Let me just say, I thought that was not that good, but in this movie, her character seemed like she was really calm and collected, even when she was not. But I think that's more because they were portraying her as an older sibling. And if any of y'all know anything about older siblings, you can really tell that they're just calmer because they have more on their shoulders. So yeah, that was a really nice touch that I liked in her portrayal. And yeah, I really do feel like she's a rising star in Hollywood if she's not already, what's the word, really successful already. But yeah, I have no doubt that she will have a great career. And this has been a great horror movie of the Alien franchise that I'm sure has just kicked it back into full gear, especially for a lot of y'all. All right, so my number one favorite movie of 2024 is Dune Part 2. Yes. Oh my god. Before this, when I saw Dune Part 1, I thought it was a mediocre movie. I rated it in my head a 7 out of 10, or even maybe 8 out of 10, maybe even 6 at the lowest. But my god, I was so invested in it. I even watched a video by one of my favorite YouTubers named Alt Shift X or Alt Swift X. No, it was Alt Shift X. He made a video talking about the Dune movie versus the Dune book, and I was so invested in all of it. And it sounds so interesting that I bought a Dune book. It was really expensive, but I bought it. I read the whole thing because he said that was only half of the book. So I read the rest of the book, and it was like a biblical epic. That's how the book was, and I could not wait for the movie to come out. Oh man, even when I first saw the first trailer, I was thinking, oh, I can't wait to see this scene from the book. My god. Let me just try to keep it vague because I know not everyone has seen it, so I don't want to spoil it, but man, where to start? Okay. I can't think of a lot of negative things to say about it, so I'll just jump right into this. Timothée Chalamet was pretty good as Paul Atreides. I heard some people thought that his portrayal at the end, when he's supposed to have come full circle for his character, just wasn't what's the word, believable for them. I can kind of understand that, but with the transformation he goes through, especially the what's the word, unnatural transformation he goes through at some point in the movie, if you know, you know. I thought the actor did a pretty good job of showing that, because if you know anything about it, especially from the book, you know that someone cannot go through that and be the same. So I thought that was somewhat believable. Zendaya, let me be honest, I love how her character had a bigger role than this. I mean, in this than in the book, because in the book, her character is not that important. Let me keep it vague so that if anyone wants to read the book, they won't have it spoiled. But here, I like how she did not just go along with everything Paul said or did. She had her own motives, her own opinion, and she stated them always, and things did not always agree with her, and she did not keep it down. She just expressed her feelings all the time, her dissatisfaction with things, and I loved that. I thought that was so realistic. And Man, sorry, I just saw this notification. And I really like how there was this huge contrast in it for me between Paul and his woman, how they had contrasts with different things in the movie. What else? I thought Stilgar was hilarious. Like, again, let me keep it vague. Just his unexpected comedy moments, mostly in the beginning of the movie, were just great. Even though the actor wasn't trying too hard, you could tell when it did come up, it was just great. Really, he nailed it. And what else? I thought, what was her name? Jessica. No, it was Rebecca Ferguson. Yeah, Rebecca Ferguson as Jessica. She was really great too. Like how her character. Let me keep this vague again, but with the crazy things that happens with her character, they were just. I think she's the best actress to pull off that otherworldly stuff that happens because it's very almost impossible to relate to in our world with our lives. The kind of stuff that happens with her character. Josh Brolin as Gurney Halleck. He did awesome. Really, he did awesome. I was so glad that he survived to this movie, and I really love how he was like a hammer in the movie, or kind of like the devil on Paul's shoulder, convincing him to do this and that others did not agree with. And I just, even though he didn't get much screen time, was not that important. And how he didn't get to play an instrument that he played a lot in the books, that really disappointed me. But I like how the actor has just this very small part in the movie where he gets to play an instrument. I'm not gonna say what it is. And for the few seconds that it was on, I thought he did nice. And how he even got to sing, which I thought was somewhat nice. But again, it's not as detailed as in the book. What else? All right, let me talk about Austin Butler. Man, oh man. The actor was, I did not see him in Elvis, probably should, but yeah, I thought he was just great as Fade Rotha. I was really anticipating seeing this character because I know he's like a darker Paul Atreides and like kind of like Elvis in a way, or at least in the book, he really plays up people more than, in a way, more than in the movie. And I just thought he was a great, just menacing villain, the kind of villain who takes charge and moves things along by doing stuff that just almost ruins the characters. I thought that was great because that's exactly what I want in a villain, someone who stops the characters, the protagonist's progress, and is just a serious threat that needs to be dealt with. And he was everything that needed to be and more. His fight scene, which I wanted to see, the first one, was every bit as awesome as I wanted to see it. And I love the plan that he did it on Gaiety Prime, because I love seeing sci-fi movies for when it shows other worlds, especially these worlds that are so different than our own. That's part of why I love sci-fi movies so much. And just seeing their world, the crazy architecture, the people, and how weird and otherworldly they acted. That was so great. Keep in mind, I was really sick when I saw this movie, but when it came out, I thought this fever I have, it wasn't even a fever, I think it was just food poisoning. Yeah, food poisoning. That's not going to keep me here, and I went to go see it. I'm so glad that I did. Even afterwards, while I was still food poisoned, I went to see it multiple times, and I kept on watching it on YouTube all year, just little clips of it. Oh, man. Let me get to something I didn't like. I did not like how the Harkonnens were really, really cheesy in this movie. Like, they would have straight up, was it bald heads? Not even any eyebrows. I don't think any eyelashes. And they were all pale white. They came from a planet with a black sun and barely any sunlight. I just thought that was really unnecessary. And I know it's a show that they're really evil people who don't even get much sunlight, don't even have hair like normal people, but I thought that was really unnecessary. Like, it seemed like the director, Denis Villeneuve, wanted to portray them more as aliens invading their planet. But I thought, they're people. Stop trying to make us think that they're monsters or aliens or inhuman this or that or demons and all that. You can make them seem like that in other ways, like with their actions, with their, well, mostly their actions, but also with their ideals too. And I am a bit disappointed that Tim Blake Nelson was not in the movie, because when I first saw the credits for the movie for the first trailer, I was pretty sure he was going to play a certain character, because that, and I know he's a really good actor. I saw him in Oh Brother Where Art Thou, Buster Scruggs, and what was that other movie? Fant Four Stick. Yes, I did not like that movie, but he's a good actor. Turns out he was not in the movie at all. He was not in Dune Part 2 at all for some reason. So yeah, that really sucked. What else to talk about this movie? Yeah, it was just like a biblical epic, one of the biggest scaled movies ever. And the final fight was just absolutely amazing. Really, it was. It was everything that the third act, the final fight, needed to be. The death of kings in Shakespeare terms. It had high stakes. Let me just keep it vague. Again, I'm not going to spoil it. The stakes were so high for that final fight, and what else? The choreography was so great. The things that the characters did made me seriously concerned for their lives, and right up until the end, it made me so excited for the sequels, or just sequel. I know they're making Dune Messiah, and I have read the book. Let me just keep it like that, because I don't want to get more into spoiler territory. But this movie was everything I wanted and more, and this was the perfect best movie of 2024 for me. Overall, this has been a pretty good year again for movies, and I would love to know what y'all's favorite movies were, and if y'all are as excited for the next year and the next few movies coming out as I am. Thank you all, and have a good night. Bye-bye.